Hello everybody and welcome back to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. My name is Avi, and today I will be today I'll be getting tongue-tied. Amazing. And today I will be playing Ryoto Saionji, the local himbo of the Spirit Rogues, as well as Arata Satomi. And with me today is my wonderful friend, who I adore so very much, and I love the artwork of, and has many great ideas.
You can't just compliment me like that. You kill me right off.
Got him.
Anyways, hi, I am Mira, and I will be playing Sammy Satomi today.
Hell to the yeah. We are coming at you live. There is nobody else in the audience right now, so we've been essentially left to commit crimes.
We have been left unsupervised. We have two himbos in the cast. There's gonna be chaos.
They're both Chariot arcana. There is no way that this is not going to end in some form of chaos. But yeah. I simply do jazz hands. So, Sammy. It's been an interesting time here in Yedo so far, here in Okushima. Recently you did in fact get to see someone who, is a licensed professional, technically speaking, for mental health reasons, so you do have that contact in your books.
Yep. He sure does.
He sure definitely does.
I look at some of the other AI games. He's probably had to call up Masaru. He's had to call him up a few times. Just, hey, another effed up thing happened.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's fair. I look at some games that are happening in the future, compared to where we are on the timeline here.
Yep.
You know who you are.
This poor therapist is having to deal with Einquell level of shenanigans.
And he's just like, what the fuck is happening in Einquell? Which is funny because you guys are like on opposite sides of the planet by then. It is going to be like super late for him whenever you call, but that's fine.
Yep.
That's fine. It's fine. It's good. It's chill. I should probably.
Sammy will feel so bad for waking him up because I hold him. He does not have the concept of time zones down.
That is fair. That is fair for our boy.
He is just a simple chariot arcana, Your Honor. He is a himbo. He may have wisdom, but he does not have intelligence.
Alright, give me just 1 second. I am still fiddling with audio.
Yee.
Okay, I think we're good.
Oh, good.
Okay. Yeah, I was just worried that I was coming off as a little loud, so I hope this works. We don't have a backup recorder right here, so like if
So we're just crossing our fingers and hoping we can cross the T's and dot the I's.
Yeah, pretty much. If this gets flubbed, yeah, there's not much I can do about it. I'm still trying to figure out how to audio balance because my microphone is apparently being weird right now. Anyway, so Sammy, it is a free day for you because nothing else is going on, really. So, Arata has invited you and a couple of his friends out to, hang out at a, local park here in, Okushima. Unfortunately, I do not have an XP name for this location specifically, but if you played for Son of 5 Royal or are at all familiar with real-world Tokyo, the location it's based off of is I think it's pronounced Inokashira Park. But yeah, it is a very, very nice place. Definitely like nature and whatnot. And, there is like a little, I guess you could say, pond in the middle that like you do see like a couple of boats being ridden by pairs of people. One of those like romantic places.
Uh-huh.
If you've seen Persona 5 Royal, you know.
You sure do.
Hey. Anyway. But yeah, one of the friends that he has, that Arata has also invited over for today is, Ryoto, who you know.
Sammy's already, like, yellow shading just from the fact that they're in a park, and it's pretty, and there's nature, and there's pretty things. There is also the very visible contemplation of Sammy trying to do a cannonball into the pond, but he is restraining himself. This
is a real kind country, my dude.
Yeah, that's why he's trying to restrain himself, because he's just like the Toonish urge to cause chaos is happening inside Sammy's brain, and he's trying to tamp it down and not bother the other people who are participating in the garden in the park. And he's just like, he's basically just vibrating. And he hasn't even figured out how to tuck his wings into his hammer space yet, so he's just wings all fluffy, vibrating, very sorely out of place, just vibrating next to Arata.
Hang on, I'm getting a phone call.
Ryoto.
I'm getting a phone call. Give me just like 1 sec.
Okay.
There we go. I forgot to unmute off of OBS. Anyway.
I gently pat. Sammy's just sitting here vibrating. And then that vibrating gets worse as soon as he sees Ryoto.
Yeah, Ryoto is also excited to see you, which is very funny because you said your shading is yellow, which means you're both just very yellow.
Yep. They're yellow boys, Your Honor.
They are very yellow. Fun fact about Ryoto, I pat the roof of his head. He bleached his hair. That is not natural blonde.
Nope. I hold him so soft.
He's simply very stupid. But Ryoto is very also excited to see you. In fact, the moment he sees you, he runs over and all but like jumps on you as like a sort of hug.
Okay, let's see if Sammy can stay standing. Or is he too excited and did not brace? Okay, that. We're doing Dex. That's a +2.
Oh my god!
Oh no. What happens, I feel, is Sammy's so startled by getting, like, tackle hugged that his wings kind of flare out, which unbalances him because he's not used to having wings. So they tip over and there's just a crash and suddenly all you can see is a pile like leaves in the camera view before floating back to
There is now
and
just a pile of himbos. Because I think it would be funny. Ichika's probably like hanging around too, because of course she's Arata's sister. And she kind of just leans over and like gives the two of you a poke to make sure you're alive.
Sammy just kind of splutters out a feather and is just like it just starts laughing.
And I think, in fact, I think what ends up happening is that Ryoto also laughs, but kind of like rolls off of you, and what does he say? He says, "Oh, sorry, man. Guess I got a little too excited."
I mean, considering usually I'm the person who accidentally tips someone over, so it's fair play. And like he does get up and he kind of just shakes his head a little bit. There are now leaves comically in his hair.
Yeah, and I think as you stand up, Arata's gonna like reach over and just pick leaves out of your hair. Because
Oh no, I have to do a whiz save because the hair that is very close to hair scritches.
he's just Arata voice, stay still. Oh my god.
You just Arata, you now have a puddle of melty Sammy leaning against your leg.
Arata voice, how? I was just pulling leaves out of your hair.
Head scritches. Mm.
You get like a gentle pat on the face.
I sorry, my internet's being a little wacky. What was it?
Arata pats your face to make sure that you like wake up.
Pout.
And Arata just kind of laughs at you and says, "Come on, don't fall asleep yet. We just got here."
This place is great, and it's sunny and warm, and you scratched my hair. And
I was pulling leaves out of your hair. I wasn't scratching.
Head scratches. Yes.
No.
I am sorry, Your Honor. His brain. Any trusted person with his hair is immediately goop. Apparently,
That was definitely a 6.
that was a 6.
He does a Arata kind of like gently bonks your head. Like gently like bonks your head with like his hand and is just like, "No. your hair is a mess."
I am sorry. He is now just in a cuddly mood. He is leaning against you, Arata. He is going to be useless until all of the leaves are out of his hair.
Yeah, hang on, let me see how long this takes. I say rolling sleight of hand as if it matters.
That 23, I think it's like quick work to get all of the leaves out of Sammy's hair. And he's just kind of left pouting because he wants cuddles now.
No! Sammy, stop!
Like he's just hugging your leg because he's still sitting on the ground and just hug. This is my brother. I am so sorry. He is just his brain has now just gone to I want fluff instead of chaos.
I mean, this can technically count as fluff still because it's not of the angst variety checks watch. But who knows? The night is young.
The night is young. I sit here. I am so sorry. All of Sammy News is handing me right now is him being useless. He is a useless, useless bird.
That sure do be himbo energy.
Yep. I'm pretty sure if Ryoto, like, said something, we can break Sammy out of the cuddle
no.
mode.
I was about to say, as this like silliness is going on, you do notice that Ryoto has stood back up, and is currently like stretching out his legs. Train of thought, please do not do this to me. And as you finally get all the leaves out of your hair, because you are a funny little toon with fur tendencies.
Yep.
He kind of like looks over in your direction, and I think Ryoto's going to say something along the... How does he say this? He is a fucking idiot. Yeah, what he ends up saying is, "Hey, Sammy, how are you feeling about another race?"
Instant perk up. Race? Yes. 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 He is on his feet. Tiredness and cuddliness gone. He wants to race.
Alright. So, Ryoto gives you this huge grin. Like, this very, very goofy, very toothy grin. As he's, like, still kind of stretching. You notice he's putting more emphasis in stretching out his, one of his legs. Before he kind of turns around and points in the direction of the pond in the park, and he says, there's a path that goes all the way around the pond, so let's do, what do you say, a lap? 2?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright. So I guess...
Should we roll athletics?
Yeah, give me a sec. I'm trying to like figure out how to flavor this because I love doing word pictures. You know how it'd be. So yeah, the moment you agree, Ryoto's gonna like pick a space on the path and kind of like drag a toe across the path, and like it's dirt. There is like it is a makeshift starting line. And Arata does have a watch. It was gifted to him like a while ago. I'm pretty sure I still have it in his inventory. So he is gonna keep time for you guys. And yes, audience. Ryoto kind of settles into a starting position that is very familiar to anybody who's ever seen like a professional like track team race. You know, the kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. Hands on the ground, like one foot in front of the other, you know how it is.
The runner lunge.
Yeah, the runner lunge. The crouch. And he's ready to go whenever you are.
Sammy's like bouncing on his feet, just so excited, and he does try to mimic Ryoto. But it's very obvious he is not an actual athlete.
Yeah. this much, we can tell. So Arata's gonna, like, check his watch, and, he's going to count you down, and he goes, alright, in 3, 2, 1, and, make me an athletics roll.
Yep.
What was your athletics? Oh yeah, that's what your athletics was.
Oh, just by one.
Just by one. Alright. Here's the thing. I was talking about this before we started the FPS, but Ryoto's base speed with class features and feats is a 50. He has boots of speeds which can double that, and taking the dash action. Sorry, I can talk. Taking the dash action means that he can go up to 200 feet around in combat.
And I did math. Sammy can do. He also has the boots of speed, and can go 160. So he is 40. He is 40 feet behind Ryoto.
Yeah, and it is. These are two very, very speedy boys. As I think what ends up happening, because it was only by one, you're like pretty much like neck and neck, close to each other for most of the race. But here's the thing. You're still getting used to your wings, which means you have an added weight that you're still not adjusted to.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when
Drag.
it comes, yeah, especially when it comes to speed. Ryoto, on the other hand, is an athlete, and you can tell this because of the way he stretched before he started the race, and of the way he was naturally in that starting position. So when he finishes the lap, Ryoto crosses the finish line first, and like just a few seconds after, you come like right behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's panting and whatever as he comes up to Arata to like get like what the time was on that race. And when Arata tells him, you just hear him like just cheer loudly, like, "Woo!"
Meanwhile, Sammy's kind of walked over to Arata and has turned into a puddle. He's not an athlete.
And
so he's just kind of like sitting on the ground trying to catch his breath, and he just gives Ryoto a thumbs up, even though he's pouting. Like, he's pouting that he lost, but he's happy that Ryoto won.
yeah. I think what ends up happening is because, of course, he's going to bring water with him. Arata just carries water with him whenever. So, like, Ryoto's going to, he's going to sit down next to you and offer you a water bottle.
He is going to gratefully take that. And take very... I'm gonna just really quickly roll con, just to see how badly out of breath he is.
I'm a little worried after those like, past few rolls.
Okay. Oh, hey! He's actually doing pretty well with a 22.
Yeah. God, yeah, that's
I
good.
feel like he takes a few sips and then he's all good. He is bounced back.
It is important to stay hydrated. And I think,
Hmm.
like I said, Ryoto is sitting next to you, and he kind of just playfully punches your shoulder, and that you know how. Uh,
Hmm.
and he says, I think he says something along the lines of, and that's why it's important to always remember to stretch before a race.
But you don't have wings. I do now. That's a drag. For
Yeah,
a
what's up
moment, I
with those
thought I was
wings
gonna
anyway?
take. For a moment, I thought I was gonna take off. We were going so fast, and I just woke up one day and I had wings. Redesign stuff.
Dude, dudes can do that?
Hmm. It was after I found out that I had a sister, actually.
You have a sister?
He laughs. Yeah, her name's Sasha. Um, Avi, how much did Arata tell the rest of the Spirit Rogues about Sammy and his backstory?
Probably not a lot because he figures that that Sammy would prefer to talk about it more in depth with them if he
Mm,
felt comfortable enough.
mm-hmm. Makes sense. Uh, yeah. So Sammy's kind of. Oh gosh, since I'm trying to think because he doesn't want to bring the story.
I mean, if you
He
just say
already.
if you just say that you have a sister, Ryoto's just like, uh, the what's the emote? This one, the gets trolled meme. Like what? Huh? What?
Like he's trying to figure out how to give context without trauma dumping because he saw how taken aback his therapist was, and he doesn't want to do that to someone who's not a professional.
You know, it's fair. I think what if it is kind of obvious that you're taking your time trying to figure it out, Arata just kind of swoops in what does he say? He says, we had some pretty crazy adventures a while back, and it turns out Sammy has a sister.
Memory eating Hydra thing.
And you see a Ryoto kind of give an involuntary shudder, and that was like, ugh. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. I'm pretty sure I ran into the thing when I was little, and I was honestly pretty lucky that I only escaped with Sasha gone. It he just kind of shivers. Though you should have seen Arata. He pokes at Arata just because Arata did so much damage that game.
And oh my god, you see Ryoto's face just brighten up as he has that very stupid and wide grin on his face again, and he says, "Yeah, that's our leader for ya." And Arata just kind of just pushes down on Ryoto's head and says, "Not so loud, you idiot."
Sammy just bursts out laughing. He just he just starts giggling and cannot stop.
And Ryoto just kind of swats Arata's hands away as he takes another sip of
Water.
of his water. Yeah, sorry. I don't know what's going on. I am losing words. Anyway, he takes another sip of his water and you see him kind of again doing, like, after workout stretches. But again, there is a bit more of an emphasis on, like, one specific leg. But before he just kind of, like, gestures with the hand that's holding the bottle at you, and he says, "I'm glad you're okay though." And he kind of, like, puts this empty hand on your shoulder, kind of, like, claps it. I had a description and I lost it again. But he claps his hand on your shoulder and kind of, like, nudges you. He says, I think what the next thing he asks is your sister here with everyone else?
Oh, shoot, now I'm, like, trying to think back on timeline-wise. I'm pretty sure before the Ryoto trip, Sasha went to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's not here. And he shakes his head and goes, "No, she actually got a job with some of our friends on a sailing vessel."
Oh, wild.
Yeah, the monster actually ate all of her memories of our family, and mine are actually coming back, which is annoying because anyways, but she wanted to. This is Mira trying to word.
Take your time.
She wanted to experience the world and figure out what she is from outside of our family, because when everything she was up until the point that the memory Hydra kind of ate everything was our family for good and bad, and she really wants to figure out who she is now. And I'm actually kind of really excited for her because she gets a lot she gets along a lot better than I would with the crew, because there's a little gnome that keeps wanting to stab me in the guts. Don't know what I did to piss her off.
Ryoto's not a toon, but he was following along for most of this conversation, but the moment she mentioned that there is a gnome that wants to stab you in the guts, there is this look on his face that, like, if he were a toon, there would definitely be, like, little grolixes of, like, question marks over his head.
Kind of shrugs and goes, I don't know. She doesn't like me, or, well, she does, but she apparently shows affection through violence, and that's scary.
And Ryoto just kind of, like, shrugs, like, and makes, like, a noise that's kind of like, I don't know. Hang on, I just got DM'd something, so let me respond to that. Alright. Yeah. I'm really curious about something, because you did meet Ryoto a little while back.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Thinky thought. Do you want to roll a history?
Your modifier is a +1. We'll see how well this goes. It's a 5.
Alright, yeah. Unfortunately. I don't think... it probably didn't get brought up back then, because that was your first time meeting.
Mm-hmm.
But I should say, the way Ryoto is sitting, kind of just chilling out as he kind of, like, lets himself rest after that quick little race. Um, he is sitting with one leg, the leg that he had been stretching more than the other, kind of warming up more than the other, kind of laid out straight in front of him, and the other is propped up with his elbow on his knee as he kind of just, like, sits and, like, watches the pond for a little bit.
Okay, Sammy's gonna roll medicine.
Mm-hmm. You've played Persona 5. You've seen Persona 5. You know what this is.
I know what, but Sammy doesn't. He failed his memory roll. Anyways, that's 23.
Okay, let me see if I can figure out how to word this. Oh wait, Sammy does have his own experience with old injuries, right?
Yep, with me retconning Sinclair to have some guns. he does actually have a leg injury as well.
Yeah. Then that 23 definitely makes sense. This is someone who has been trying to, like, the way Ryoto is moving, in a way he's, like, putting more emphasis and care into, like, one specific leg, definitely has the vibes of someone who's been trying to do physical therapy for an old injury. And you know Ryoto. Ryoto fucking loves running. So, like, even if he was injured, this is probably something he would not give up.
Sammy's he's looking at Ryoto and, like, he's trying to figure out how to bring up, oh, same hat. But at the same time he's like, wait, how do you person and bond? Question marks? He is doing a think. And, like, I'm actually gonna roll to see how well his leg is actually doing, because he did run without stretching it.
Yeah.
So we're just,
ooh, good.
Ooh, okay. Like, I feel like it's because he's actually starting to think about his leg, that's when it kind of hits, and he just kind of winces and starts rubbing his own leg, like, oh, that was stupid.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm gonna roll perception to see if Ryoto notices. Yes, he does! My man Ryoto rolling high.
Hey, Ryoto! Makes sense you would pick this up, though.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, he's probably, like, mid-sip as he kind of, like, watches you, like, wince. Do you, like, rub at your leg at all?
Yeah, he does. It's, kind of, like, down. It's... I'm trying to remember where the bullet hit. It's kind of down a bit further, kind of in the middle of below the knee. So I can't remember what the term is for that.
Below the knee, you said? Like,
yeah,
the calf?
It's not like calf. Yeah, calf.
Mm-hmm.
In, like, the calf area.
I think, sorry, I'm, like, quickly Googling, like, some quick, stretches for legs, you know, the kind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, maybe if I do this specifically. All right. So, I think what Ryoto does, when he sees you, he's mid-sip as he sees you wince and kind of like rub at your leg, and he says, "Is your leg all right?"
Yeah, it's. I was a dumbass who forgot to take your lead and do some stretches that my doctor prescribed me. I'm an idiot.
All right. Yeah, that's probably gonna rough you up a little bit. Here, and he's gonna turn to face you, and he's like gesturing to you to like kind of mimic him.
And he kind of blinks for a moment and then we'll copy Ryoto.
All right. And I think what he ends up saying is, all right, sit out with your legs straight out in front of you.
He nods. Does
Uh,
so.
Now, reach for your toes.
Reach.
I think this would either be medicine or athletics. I'll leave that up to you.
Um. Okay.
Because he is
Well, they're
trying to get
both a
you to
plus
like
four.
do some like cool down stretches for your leg.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say athletics just because they are stretching.
All right.
And with a 16, I think it goes pretty well.
Yeah. Like obviously this is stretching. It's not going to make you magically like feel better immediately, but it does help
Mm-hmm.
with like I think a bit of the tension.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's like the scar tissue that's giving him an issue.
Yeah.
It helps loosen some of the tightness that he
Yeah.
accidentally triggered.
Yeah. And he's going to lead you through a couple of more stretches like that. Um, and he's as he's kind of stretching, he says, I think he ends up joking and says, "You know, you're pretty good at racing. Probably could have made it in a track team."
He laughs a little and just rubs the back of his head. Well, I mean, if I'd actually gone to a traditional school, I probably would have.
You were homeschooled?
Uh, yes. For until I was 10, we had tutors, and then there was nothing until I was about 18.
And he kind of just nods. The implication of that goes right over his head.
Oh, bless him. Bless his heart.
Reminder: -1 in intelligence.
I love him so much.
Also, in a more traditional D&D setting, um, depending on like the places you're in, higher education really isn't that like common.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember
Yep.
right.
Yeah, because it's medieval.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people were schooled.
Mhm.
Like Einquell is different because there's they tunes.
Yeah, and
It's not normal.
yeah, and Yeto is getting their trademark because of their economic progress because of their industrial revolution.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um
Oh.
so Ryoto just kind of, like, nods at that. Like, that checks out, mostly.
Sammy just kind of blinks at that, and then he's not going to elaborate if Ryoto's not pressing questions.
He's too stupid, too. Um, at least he doesn't see it as, like, a quote-unquote, like, bad thing, so he's not pressing. Because otherwise, if that did occur to him, he would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Sammy also is not that smart to realize that Ryoto's not picking up on these two boys are operating on two different social cultural standards, and
Yeah.
I love it. I just also Ryoto single-handedly maintaining the mild angst rating.
Brain too smooth, angst rolls right off.
Yep, because I just told up Sammy. I am so sorry. He is a ball of angst despite being a sunshine person himself.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, now you can tell that, Ryoto, one, is, has had an injured leg before. And, two, knows how to, like, stretch and take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Almost to
Which does
almost to a professional level.
Sammy kind of actually tilts his head and goes, "Have you ever considered maybe going into like sports medicine?"
Sports medicine?
Mm-hmm. It's where clerics and well, not just clerics, but healers too, can go in and help people with injuries like us. I think he'd be really good at it.
You kind of see him, like, think about it, before he kind of just shrugs and says, I don't know. I've always preferred being the one running.
He nods. He gets that. But he just wanted to say it because, you know, maybe he wants to help other people like he's been helped. Sammy doesn't know.
It's a good thing medicine is a wisdom skill. Because as a Kalash star, Ryoto needs wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
I also think you need wisdom for, like, a specific thing in barbarian classes, but I don't remember. Anyway. But he just kind of shrugs, before he realizes and says, "Did you injure your leg too?"
Mm-hmm. The man Trickster helped put in jail for me. He shot my leg when I was trying to get away from him before uh before he was caught. So yeah, that's from that.
He shot your leg?
Yeah, he was an awful person.
God, that's putting it lightly.
Sorry, someone's at the door. Give me 1 sec.
Yeah, no, take your time. Hi, audience. I love how we started with, like, no audience members, and then all of a sudden we have audience members. I am hoping the recording for this is, going to go smoothly because, I said it earlier at the start of the FPS, I don't think anybody was here, but, my mic was being weird. So I hope this, recording goes well, because we Maki. Because we don't have any backup recordings.
Hi, sorry, I'm back. My brother was so my brother was locked out of our house, so we needed to let him in.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, he was needing to grab some gloves. Apparently, they're doing some yard work outside. I don't know. It's cold.
Oh
just
god, yeah.
I'm just like, okay, you
That's
guys,
you.
you do you. And so I had to help him for a sec.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Where were we?
Sammy had just barely revealed that the person that how he got involved with the spirit rogues was because of a man who was on trial for at least as far as Ryoto knows, so shooting Sammy on the leg to keep him from escaping.
God, yeah. You want to roll a quick insight?
Sure. If I can things to type right. There you go. And that was +4. Oh, a nat 20.
Oh shit. Okay. Okay. Let's put my head in hands. How to word as I put my hands together. So Ryoto, huh?
Mm-hmm.
He actually, the more you, like, talk about this, the more, like, he actually seems, like, visibly upset that this happened to you, even though this is, like, this was something that apparently happened a while ago, and the person responsible got retribution for it. Via the spirit rogues, no less. By the way, I think, because of the way the spirit rogues operate, Trickster would have told the other spirit rogues what Sinclair's crimes were without, like, revealing Sammy's, like, personal stuff. Because they do have to be unanimous.
So yeah, hey Ryoto, the person that Trickster was helping that one time. Yeah.
Yeah. And with your nat 20 insight, it's a 24. Um, Ryoto is trying very hard not to get too angry, because yikes! He definitely has experience with, in his words, shitty adults.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't take too kindly to them, but he does seem to be trying to, like, not explode.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you see him forcibly, like, take another sip of his water.
So yeah, Sammy just kind of nods and does the jazz hands and goes, yeah, I that was me that Trickster talked about. Because Sammy probably knows about the unanimous decision thing.
Yeah.
So he just like I was the one being helped.
And, like, Ryoto is, like, still mid-sip as you're, like, talking before he kind of, like, lowers his bottle and he, let me see, how you doing, buddy? Oh yeah, you're a Clash Star, you have advantage. Thank God you have advantage, oh God! Okay, that is decent.
Gosh. Oh man. Oh no. I am so glad he has advantage on that.
Yeah,
Because that would have been a nat one.
Yeah, that would have been a nat one. You see him kind of, like, bring the bottle down, and he still looks a little angry, you know the way. And as he says, I mean, I'm glad you're alright, but man, that's still such a shitty thing to do.
Yeah, it was really shitty. And it's, really, he kind of pauses for a moment, tries to think, and just goes, yeah, it's messed up. But he managed to change his heart and he confessed. So he's not going to hurt anyone ever again. Even though I think one of his connections tried to murder him. And I was there and I was able to help stabilize him, so he's alive and in prison now, but he was in some shady stuff.
And there it is again. Despite not being a toon, he has a face that would very be befitting of a very confused toon, complete with, like, question marks over his head. He's like, God damn.
Look, Einquil is crazy, okay? Wait,
isn't this guy real kind?
Yeah, he's real kind, but happened in Toonkind and in Einquil, so like the trial was in Einquil, so there was a bunch of plot happening, and just he was already in some shady stuff, so of course someone's gonna try and kill him, and he just kind of makes a helpless gesture with his hands.
Jeez. Are you sure you guys are okay?
Yes?
Kind of gives
you
a look over and
he looks at Arata and is like, are we okay? Is this really weird? I'm concerned and confused and
Arata just kind of leans over and he says, "Remember, we're not in 912. Plot isn't a thing here."
But no, but I mean, back in Inkwell, are we okay? Like, is this actually something bad that we should worry about?
Um, and Arata just kind of shrugs and he says, "I mean, we should probably keep a lookout anyway between what happened then and what's going on, now."
He nods.
But, like, other than that, since they haven't come for, us specifically like that, I don't think, we might be in the clear for now.
Sammy just kind of relaxes and just flop. Just, Arata, you don't have a floppy bird. He got himself a little too wound up. Now he needs cuddles again.
You get a Sammy, I'm going to pour water on your head.
No. Just one hug, please.
Okay, one hug. And he kind of just gives you a hug. He's very much enjoying it. He's just teasing you.
There is a melty bird hugging you back, just so. He's just. He got really worried for a second. Because he's just like, wait, are Toons actually in trouble? Is this a thing I should actually be worried about? Because he's just like, wait, this isn't normal over here. Are we the weird ones? Are we the people having bad experiences? What?
I mean, as far as being weird goes, compared to the rest of, like, races on story, they are pretty straight.
They are pretty weird. Oh man. But yeah, like after the hug is done, he will sit back up and just kind of if Arata thinks it's okay, it's gonna be okay, kind of, because he trusts him brother.
Yeah.
So he just kind of shrugs at Ryoto and it's just I think we're okay. It's things happen over there a lot.
And Ryoto just kind of, like, takes in a deep breath and just kind of sighs. That does seem to, like, calm him down.
And, like, Sammy just kind of rubs the back of his head. Like, I mean, Sinclair was bad, even from our standards. But most of the time, the stuff that happens isn't like that. It's usually just hijinks and plot things. Like, he's trying to explain, but he doesn't know how to explain it to Ryoto.
Just goofing off and stuff, right?
Yeah, usually it's goofing off and stuff, and then there's a lot of mysteries and files in Villestown. There's a lot of stuff that happens in Toontown. Just there's so many things that happen in Toontown.
Oh yeah, that place was busy.
Wait. He's like, wait. When did you go to Toontown?
That was when Arata's last birthday, not this year, but the previous year. That was when you first met.
Okay. Okay, good, because, like, my brain's like, wait, because we kind of talked about it and they met off screen, but I didn't remember if Sammy remembered that.
Yeah.
But he would remember that, so okay. So scratch that. He just nods. Yeah, no, Toontown is very busy. It's so busy. Like, so many things happened. so many things. So many things. Like it's Einquill has a culture of chaos. Usually it's good chaos. Sometimes it's bad chaos. And then sometimes he kind of shuts his mouth before you can say something kind of insensitive. Because both Ryoto and Arata are real kind and he doesn't want to insult them.
No, that's fair. And I think actually Arata just kind of like sticks his hand in your face just to be silly.
he he licks your hand, Arata.
Ew! And wipes it on your shirt.
You were the one who stuck your hand in my face.
You're
What
the
did
one
you
who licked
expect
me.
to do? What did you expect me to do? You put your hand in front of my face.
You know what's funny?
What?
After Sammy, like, trauma dumped about, what happened with his leg, Ryoto is just handing me, oh, my turn to trauma dump?
Sammy will listen.
How do I redirect the conversation back to that?
Well, I can honestly have Sammy kind of shuffle a little bit and kind of just nod back at Ryoto and go, so how did you get involved with the Spirit Rogues? Because you kind of know about how I got involved now.
Oh. And Ryoto kind of shrugs, and he does that thing where he kind of leans back on his hands as he's sitting and he says, what does he say? There was a noise in the kitchen and I have no idea what that was. I want to pretend I didn't hear it. Okay. He says, oh God, how do you word this? He says, did Arata ever tell you about our first target? The very first.
He told me about what he was like as a person, but he didn't really mention the specifics because that was your guys' story.
And he kind of nods and he's just like, yeah, that's Arata for you. And Arata just kind of sticks his tongue out at Ryoto. Ryoto sticks his tongue out back and like kind of like does the thing where he you put a finger on your like cheek and pull down so that like you can see the under eyelid.
Uh-huh.
They're just making silly faces at each other because they're stupid friends.
Sammy just kind of like bumps Arata and then just kind of like lightly taps Ryoto with his foot.
And he says, so Kabayama. Fuck Kabayama.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, he wouldn't say fuck, he's too polite. He says, F that Kabayama.
Sammy nodding. Peck him.
Thank you, audience. He says, before I ever met this guy, and he kind of gestures to Arata, he says, I used to be on the track team back in our high school, right? I used to be our team's star runner. And this guy, Kabayama, became our coach. God, he was effing awful. Worked us like slaves and shit.
Sammy's frowning. He's got the angry eyebrows and the frown. He's listening very sympathetically, but he is already mad.
Yeah.
He's like, angry.
And what does he say? What does he say? He says, I'm like barely able to remember like the very specifics of this situation, but I do know that Ryoto does like talk about you know what, I think it's just gonna skip right ahead. Actually, we're gonna skim over the specific details because yikes. Um
Mm-hmm.
and he says, so I I get really upset at this guy. Cause of course I am. I miss our old coach. He was amazing. And like nobody else wanted to say anything about it because we were all scared about losing our team. It was like all we had at the time. But I get fed up with this guy. And so I tell him off. And he gets mad at me and he kind of makes a vague gesture and says, "That's how I broke my leg."
Sammy's shaving his red, and he's just, I wish I could punch him. I
I
know
would.
he's already got a change of heart, but I wish I could have been there and punch him.
I wish I could punch him too. And he kind of like repositions himself so that he's doing that. He's sitting in a way so that he's got one elbow on his knee and his chin is in his hand, and he's just want to punch.
Sammy and Ryoto want to punch. They
They're both barbarians.
are.
Yeah, Ryoto's a Storm Herald barbarian, I think it's called.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. It makes sense, but I didn't know that.
it,
I'm losing it.
it felt so perfect for him, specifically Storm Herald,
Mm-hmm.
because of
Mm-hmm.
his affinity to electricity. But yeah,
Oh, definitely.
um,
They both sit there, be angry.
they both engy. Um, but he's just, but yeah. Um, so I got my leg broken by an asshole coach. Um, what else does he say? He says the team got disbanded because of that, so there was no track team next year. I mean, not officially. The track team had to meet unofficially somewhere else on campus. They didn't even get their locker room. And for a while, the rest of the team just sort of blamed me for it, so I couldn't join back in. But then. And he kind of sighs. And then repositions himself again, so like he's sitting with his legs like crossed, but his knees are up. So now that both of his arms are propped on his knees.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just. He points at Arata and he says, and then that guy kind of transferred to our school.
And everything changed when the Arata attacked. Sammy actually makes that joke.
I think both Ryoto and Arata laugh.
Sammy preens. He is very happy that his joke landed.
And Ryoto just kind of like laughs at that, and he says, "Man, you should have seen it though. Kabayama hated that guy for no reason."
Sammy just lean into Arata, just give comfort.
You know, he's, like, Arata just kind of pats your shoulder, and he's just like, it's okay. I'm not too hung up about it anymore.
He sounds like a real picnic.
Oh, he was. He was a real work of art.
I'm really glad that you guys changed his heart.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Genie and Adia were also part of that team, so.
Nod, nod, nod. So you guys were the core 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The core 5.
He holds up 4 fingers. Me, Adia, Genie, and Ryoto.
4. The core 4.
Yep. That was our starting team.
Oh, that's so cool. And there's so many now.
Oh, there is so many of us.
You just lean, give Arata a hug. I'm glad you guys aren't alone anymore.
Of course not. We've got each other now.
Mm-hmm. Because sounds like everyone kind of came from really bad places before this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that everyone found each other and it's not as bad now.
And I think Arata gives. I almost said Akira. Okay. Okay. Arata says. Arata gives you a hug, and Ryoto is just, "Aw, are you just getting sappy on us now?"
Sammy just sticks his tongue out at Ryoto and is just like, so what if I am?
He sticks his tongue out back at you, making that same face he made at Arata. Bleh.
And he just kind of snuggles back into Arata's side for a second and then just launches himself at Ryoto, trying to tackle him into a hug.
Alright, next save time. Oh god. Finally, I roll below an 8, below a 10 for this kid. That was an 11.
Okay, let me just roll to see if Sammy misses or not.
I mean, it's still an 11, so here's what probably happens.
Mm-hmm.
You lunge at Ryoto. And he was not at all expecting it, because he was still making that face at you. So, you, tackle him. He was not expecting it. And you kind of overestimated, like, your weight again.
Mm-hmm.
And both of you just fall backwards.
Okay. I know, like you said,
full
that, like,
circle.
like, you fall over backwards, but I have this mental image of Sammy actually going over Ryoto's shoulders and tugging on accident, so they kind of both go rolling backwards, and that's how Sammy's, like, on his back.
Oh my god. We've come full circle!
We have! This is, like, the perfect bookmark.
It is
like,
a
the
very,
perfect bookend.
very, very good bookend. In fact, I think what ends up happening, because I did say Ichika was, like, around somewhere, TM. Ichika comes back, and she's just like, man, are you guys play fighting again? Get on up! Get off your asses, I found ice cream!
Ice cream? Sammy is immediately shoving Ryoto off.
And, Ichika just, gives you like an excited excited look and a nod as she kind of like hops on her feet and she says, "Last one there's a rotten egg," and she just takes off running.
Sammy's gonna run after.
Yeah, and as the rest of the group follows after her, that is where we'll end our FPS. And thank you, Mira, for playing with me.
Oh, that was fantastic. Thank you for letting me just. Oh, that was great.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad we had fun here.
Oh, that was so fun.
And thank you to our listening audience, both now and in the future. With that, we are going to bid you a good time zone. Bye!
Bye!